think we should start off with introductions, obviously. I'm going to start at that end, please. Name, company, and I suppose this is about retail POS to augmented retail POS. So in other words, your basic retail POS machine, your PDQR, and where are we going in the future, and what does it mean for the customers? So please tell me a little bit about what your company does so we can understand where your comments are coming from and how you're involved in this new world we're going into.
Sure, thank you. Hi, I'm Mustafa, and I'm the founder and CEO of MishiPay. MishiPay is a mobile self-checkout technology. We're here to bring the best of the online checkout experience to the physical store, because we truly believe that the shopper loves to go to the store to be able to experience, browse items, and then actually fall in love with the product to go ahead and buy. But that's the part where the journey is broken, right? Where you pick up something, you realize, you know what, I want to buy this, and there's so much friction between the moment of wanting to buy and the moment of actually buying. You know, you wait in a line, get to the till, and then pay. There's a lot of friction, whereas online, you don't have a great time browsing because you can't actually touch and feel the product. But when you want to buy it, add to basket and pay. So the friction at the point of checkout is not there. There's friction before that. So what we're doing is putting the best of both these worlds together for the shop and shopper, where you have the ability to enjoy the store, go and browse items, and when you want to know more, you scan the barcode using the MishiPay app to learn more about it, name, picture, price, any other details. Add it to basket, where we automatically calculate promotions, loyalty, anything else that the retailer wants to do with the shopper at that point to further augment the basket and increase the sales. And then they go ahead to pay with Apple Pay, credit, debit card, or any other wallet. So the journey is transformed from needing to wait in a line and then go to the till to instead just scan, pay, and go, while still enjoying the best of the store.
So I just walk out the store and the alarm goes off because I haven't taken off the security tag.
That journey for the security is an obvious first question that we get every time. So we handle it either via RFID or via the MishiPay dashboard, which is an app for the staff through which they can do the control.
So the idea is I shop normally, scan it on my app, effectively pay for it then and there, and then walk out the store.
With the items, yes.
And no
if
receipt.
there is a hard tag...
But with no receipt in my hand.
No receipts in your hand. You have the receipt on your app, and you have the receipt in email.
So when the policeman grabs me outside, the store detective will say, I have to then prove it on my app.
Yeah.
And because there was a 404 area of broken connection, I can't prove it. I'm still going to get nicked.
You'll have an email, and you'll also have the receipt on you.
Okay.
In the app saved, so you won't need the internet for that.
Okay.
But sure, if there's a 404, the policeman can give you his hotspot.
I'm just an awkward so-and-so. Next.
I'm Marcus, CEO from Ready to Order. So we focus on the very small businesses. By small businesses, we mean businesses with fewer than 10 employees and who usually focus on the face-to-face transactions. And when you look at the market, there's so many small businesses that are still lagging behind in terms of digitalizations. They either don't have a proper point-of-sale solution or a very outdated one, so their processes are very complicated, and also the experience for customers is not great at the point of sale. So we provide a modular business management solution that's featuring a state-of-the-art point-of-sale solution at its core. So we really want to make both sides happy. So first, the merchant, that he is a very modern cloud-based platform where he can easily get all the data he needs, gets connected with other applications, but also for the customer when they're at the checkout, so that it doesn't take very long to accept any payments and it goes really smooth. So yeah, that's our challenge. And our vision is to become the one-stop solution for the merchant, that because we have different kinds of data streams that we really want to provide a lot of different solutions like loans or insurance to the merchants that they make their life easier.
So do you then, so A, you're targeting the S of the SME market, by the sound of it, it's very small end.
Can you repeat?
You're targeting the S of the small.
Yes, very small.
And the second thing is that then linking into my stock control and stuff? Is that part of the plan, or?
What do you mean by stock control?
Stock control. So you said checking out, obviously.
Okay, yeah, of course, yeah, stock management, yes.
Yeah.
That's also included in the system, yes.
Okay.
So hello, my name is Pera. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Nemuru. So what we're doing, so basically we're getting close the world of payments with consumer lending. Okay, so we build up the technology to really connect this point of sale to multiple financial institutions backing these operations. So that basically you have all the process, only one process that it's given to the final consumer. It's in 3-4 minutes in his device. He will require this loan. So basically to repay installments at the point of sale itself, right? So it can be in store. It can also be like other type of SMEs or companies selling like services, not just products, okay? Because we have the ability to split the payment in time. So this is mainly the technology layer we want to put there to bring together the, let's say, more close world to payments and also to the financing solutions.
Maybe I'm being stupid, but I'm not quite totally understanding. So we're talking about point-of-sale finance.
Yeah.
How are you credit scoring that customer?
So in his own process in this device, of course, we need to identify this person. So we're going to get data from this identification, but also under PSD2 checking for bank aggregation because we're doing tickets like almost 6,000 on average.
So you're doing a PSD2.
So we take all this data, of course, and this is part of the scoring.
So I've got to pre-sign up to the app?
No, you don't. So basically, the seller, the merchant, will give you the option to apply for that. So we'll send you an SMS directly from the platform. It's just 1 minute for him. He just needs your phone number.
I then have to download the app?
No, it's not an app. It's right now you can do it on web. So you directly do there the process.
Yep.
And we are connected to multiple financial institutions backing those operations.
So
in only one.
I go on the app. I go on the website, fill in my details.
Well, I mean, you as a consumer just receive an SMS with the link. Mm-hmm. And you just follow the link, and it's a 3-minute process with pictures of your ID and connecting bank. Okay.
I don't carry ID.
What do you don't carry?
You said take a picture of your ID.
I mean, once you have the invitation, you as a final consumer, you take the picture of your ID because you can do it multi-channel. I mean, you can be in store, or you can be outside the store. So you take the picture of your ID, connect your bank, you have the contract, and you can. I mean, the payment is done directly to the merchant.
So it only works currently in markets where there is an ID form. Many markets in Europe has no national ID scheme.
Well, when I say ID, I mean ID or passport can work also, or this type of issues. I mean, right now we started in Spain our business, so this is where we focus now. But yeah, of course, this is the way of identifying the guy that is barring and the know your customer part.
In the UK, we don't have to carry any ID. We don't carry passports or ID. We're revolutionaries. Okay, so it's point-of-sale finance, quick checkout, point-of-sale finance using PSD2 open banking to enable the credit scoring.
Correct.
And effective credit then in for the merchant.
Correct.
Okay, got it.
My name is Chakraborty, founder and chief executive of Sonect. What we do at Sonect is we bring the power of sharing economy into cash logistics and cash distribution. We convert retailers into a virtual ATM. We have created a location-based matchmaking platform that connects those who wants to withdraw cash in real time with those who wants to deposit cash, which typically is a local shop owner like a bakery or a pizzeria or a bar owner or a restaurant owner. So their journey is to get rid of cash because they want to bring the cash back to the bank anyway. Instead of doing that, they sign up on our platform. We take that liquidity as a virtual ATM, show it on our map, and we do a geolocation-based matchmaking. So anybody who is looking for cash in that neighborhood are matched on our platform. Imagine Uber in the case of cash withdrawal. So drivers are signing up, and you can simply call a taxi. The same happens here. The retailers sign up on our platform. Of course, we have a direct integration model with the point of sale as well. And essentially, once they sign up, we show them as virtual ATM. And our algorithm routes the traffic intelligently. Now, this is where our proprietary technology comes in. So we essentially monitors, where the liquidity is and who is requesting how much, and accordingly we route the traffic to the nearby stores, so that when you request €200, it's unlike cashback transactions where you go and ask and they simply say, no, I don't have 200. In our platform, it's a guaranteed transaction. So once you request 200, we will make sure there is a spot where you can go and collect your 200 euro. This way, of course, the advantage to the SMEs, they get rid of cash because cash management is a huge problem for all SMEs. Of course, every time they hand out cash, they also earn commission, they make money. And last but not the least, it increases foot traffic to the store. So that means you might not have visited that store earlier, but through our platform, you got to know about it. You walk in, and that converts into upselling opportunity. You, as a consumer, on the other hand, can access cash almost everywhere where we are live. We are now going live in 4 to 5 markets this year. So everywhere you travel, you have the same ubiquitous experience of access to cash. And the biggest gainers are the banks because there is no physical infrastructure involved here. You might have noticed most of the retail banks today are talking about branch transformation, ATM footprint reduction, and so on and so forth. We come in and offer our platform to them so that they can switch over to a low-cost cash distribution channel. They not only save money, they also generate additional revenue through our platform.
Couple of questions. One is the guy depositing the cash to retailer A gives money to retailer B. So I'm a merchant, I give money to retailer B to look because I want to deposit cash. Do they get charged a commission, or do they pay? I'm receiving the cash for them. Do I make money on that, or do I only make money when I pay it out?
So every transaction, there is a fee.
There's a fee going
Sometimes the banks pay the fee because it's a reduction in interchange.
Yeah.
Sometimes the consumers pay the fee because it's a reduction in surcharge. And on the deposit side also, there is a fee as well. So everywhere, there is a fee involved.
So I'm being really stupid here. There's 2 big questions in my head. One is, if I'm a retailer, I take a big lump of cash in. It must be very tempted for my staff member just to take the cash and run away with it.
First of all, you can't because we are mainly doing right now the cash out, which is the cash withdrawal part of the story. And we don't allow you to hoard additional cash to do our service. It's your day-to-day turnover volume that you distribute through the platform. And if you take the cash in, we have a partner called Loomis. They provide additional hardware to secure those cash. It's not just it's lying over in your retail and you can't.
But surely it's a robber's charter, because I go in there saying I want to withdraw 500. You tell me where the money is, and then I can go and rob them.
Good question, but think about it. The store might have 500 anyway today. If they have Sonect, they're actually de-risking that because all right, they're constantly reducing the cash liquidity at the store. So the robbers, they're reducing the cash volume at the till constantly. So if the store has Sonect, so imagine the situation before.
But I can tell which store has more money because you'll tell me who's got the money.
Right, you don't know how much. You can take a chance to rob 100 euro or you take a chance with 10,000 euro. It's up to you.
Okay. And which countries are you live in?
So we are live in Switzerland and now expanding in 4 markets this year.
So
in Europe.
I'm interested you're targeting the European markets, not the developing markets. Why?
The things that are happening in Europe right now is cost reduction for retail banks. Most retail banks are looking to pull the plug on ATMs, but the industry and the consumers are not ready to give up on cash yet, and that is creating the opportunity for companies like us to come in and fill that gap. On the other hand, we are also launching in Mexico, but there it's a cost avoidance case and rather a financial inclusion case because their consumers do not have access to even an ATM.
Okay. And finally, Paytweak, popcorn makers extraordinaire. Thank you very much. Nice to meet you. Right.
Hello, my name is Thierry Meimoun. I'm the founder and CEO of Paytweak, which is a French fintech startup. By the way, I guess I'm the only French in this panel. Maybe because we're the...
Je parle franglais, je ne peux parler français.
It's okay. It's maybe because we're the last nation in the world that is using Czech. So if we speak about innovation in France, some people may be surprised, but...
You're using the biro this year, hopefully, as opposed to a quill pen?
Yeah. No, I mean... In Paytweak, we are leader and expert in remote and distant payment for 5 years now, providing a service which is directly connected to 500 PSP around the world, allowing to trigger a payment by mail, by text, using blockchain, IA, and machine learning technology. And we recently came to the POS market because we're constantly in touch with our customers, and we understood their needs. And at Paytweak, we understood that the future of POS will not be something physical, but it will be something based on your smartphone. So the goal for Paytweak was simply to allow to take a payment, even if you're a retailer, a merchant, through your smartphone. It's nice, a smartphone.
I was going to say, he just wants to show off his foldable smartphone. Yeah. That's what it is, guys. Come on, look at this.
Yes,
foldable
look at this
smartphone.
guy. This is the last Samsung. It works super good. So at Paytweak, we have developed an application, a mobile app, that allows you to trigger a payment in face-to-face, even if you're a retailer. And the process is very simple. Because we're directly connected to the bank, so it makes it easier to take a payment. So you just have to choose the payment method. You want...
Go on. That's enough, not a demo now. No demo.
Okay. You want to take a payment, you just have to fill the amount, to choose which payment means you want to use. It could be QR code, it could be NFC, it could be SMS, email, and you will take this payment directly to your bank account. No delay, no fees, no intermediaries.
Okay.
So we recently come to this, and voila, this is what we do. And we think at Paytweak that the future of POS will not be physical, but something frictionless, easier, very fast.
That's a good point, frictionless. So we hear a lot about frictionless payments when I look at the whole panel here. The Uber experience. And a couple of things come to my mind. One is, if any of you were in here for this morning's session with MasterCard and Michael Muller, consumers like some friction in the checkout because they like to know they've actually paid. There is that inherent fear that actually, am I walking out without paying? On the other hand, yes, there's the friction side, which many of you are involved in getting rid of. Where's the balance between that, and are we actually ever moving towards a situation, I mean, of that frictionless checkout really becoming, you've all been talking around different methods of it, but it's still in some ways friction for the customer. They still got to do things and everything else. There have already been tests done with facial recognition and walking out and paying for it. How do consumers feel they've paid though? Do they feel like they're robbing the store? I'm interested in your thoughts on where the balance is between no friction at all. As Michael did point out, he got out of a taxi the other day, which wasn't an Uber one, and the guy got rather annoyed when he didn't pay. He just walked away.
Yeah, that's happened to me a few times as well. Especially as soon as I started Uber, and it was different. And you have that behavioral change for shoppers if you're going to fundamentally change the experience. And they were doing something for many years they were doing it in a certain way, and then you've completely changed that, then you will see that reaction for a while. And for in our case, when it comes to mobile scan, pay and go, we've seen this in the journey as well, that whenever there is a staff and shopper interaction as a requirement at the exit, the shopper actually doesn't mind those extra few seconds that they spend with the staff. It confirms for them that they actually did make the payment. However, when you're introducing that interaction, it's very important to make it valuable, right? It has to add some value to the shopper. It can't just be that you're using your staff to do process work that could be done by a robot today, or that could be done by the shopper themselves. So things like doing the full POS journey. In our example, that's what we believe, that the staff is not adding value. They're just scanning items in and then taking payment. Those things have been automated already. Where the staff adds value in the store is by having a conversation with the customer, building a relationship, giving them advice on anything that they want to know. So there's many things that you can use when you have those interactions, but it's important to make them valuable for both sides and add something to the experience overall. Because if it's not adding something of real value to the shopper, then it's probably friction that should go away ASAP, and it's probably going to go away with one of our technologies.
I totally agree. Value should definitely be there for the customer if there's any interaction. I think it just differs a lot by industry. So there could be some things where you really want to get going quickly. You know, there could be the coffee in the morning or the bakery, but then there could be other stores where we really want to like get this interaction. We want to get to know more about the product. You want to get some consulting. What do you want to buy? So there could be difference in those different areas, how the checkout process is going to be in the future. And there's also an important factor, like how big actually is the company. So you know, our company deals with a lot of very, very small merchants and companies. So when I look at them right now, they're so far away from this frictionless checkout process that our job right now is to really reduce this friction to a minimum, but it's still kind of imaginary for them what is possible. But if I would tell them, oh, your shop is gonna be now with cameras and everything is automated, and somebody walks in and buy it, they would look at me and they would not. I mean, I wouldn't be able to get this shop as a customer probably. So there's also a lot of change in how the people think about this process, but and also the customer expectations. You know, can I get this additional value from the direct contact?
Yeah, I think you were saying that it might depend a lot on the type of seller, let's say, and what you offer, the value you offer to your seller. But I think it also has to do with what consumer wants to choose in terms of payment. I mean, I don't think every consumer in the world will feel comfortable by a Face ID for paying. I mean, definitely we all think of the one and final solution, let's say, but most of them will combine for a while, that's for sure. And in this way, and in this combination of payment methods, let's say, I think, or as a company, and as a company targeting the sellers, as we do, for us it's important to have a very good experience for them. Okay, so for example, in this, our customers, they are used to offer financing solutions to their final customers, but they need to work a lot. I mean, they have to gather data from this customer, put it into a platform, wait for the answer of a banking institution or whatsoever, right? So for us, we are reducing the friction at this point for the seller, right? We bring this job to the final customer. Okay, we know that. We wanted to test that if it works. But it's working in this sense. I mean, the final customer is more empowered. And for us, it's a good way too. I mean, you lower a lot the possibility of fraud from the seller, which is also an important issue in the consumer lending space for us.
Yeah, I would highlight two things. First, I remember, I think in UK, Sainsbury or one of the large retailers did one experiment. They took out all the tills from a store, and they introduced their mobile pay where something similar to MishiPay, like you don't have to pay, you just simply scan it and walk out. And what they were doing, they were insisting every new customer walking into Sainsbury download the app right there, sign up, and pay using that app. And there is no other way to buy any other stuff from the store. So they were doing a kind of a 4 weeks observation to see whether customers are ready to, jump over to such a frictionless experience. And the results were pretty amazing. For the very first day, they had to open forcefully a till at the corner, like a secret till. And after half a day, they saw the queues are lining up to that secret till because customers says, oh, app, we will download and stuff like that. Oh, we will do later. So this barrier to jump and to leapfrog to a future technology, we must not undermine that from a customer perspective. We can think about all sorts of crazy stuffs like biometry and face and all these things. However, the adoption is key, and the friction that is currently there in the consumer behavior is something that we can continue to see for the foreseeable future. And second, just to bring back to our business here, a lot of our users and customers give us credits because they say, you know what, your ATMs actually talk to us. Of course, because it's a human being giving you the cash instead of a physical machine. And that kind of personal interaction, especially if you go a little bit outside of the cities and any other regional, rural communities, they all like to talk to each other. Let's face it, it's not a robotic world we are living in. There is still a human element left in it.
I totally agree with my colleagues. And for us, the key word to remove friction between the customer and the merchant is the token. So it's going to be the key word, the token. So this is something that the merchant and the customer will share. It's the best way to remove the friction and to go faster in payments.
Okay. I'm very conscious that as we move into the era of greater customer understanding, some of your solutions here capture large amounts of customer data, and that retailers are starting to increasingly control and sit on large amounts of information around not only how we pay, but there's lifestyle data that goes with that and everything else. Where are retailers going to use that type of data, driving loyalty, and to really augment and drive that retail experience? Because if we look at augmented POS, it shouldn't just be about my transaction, this transaction. It should be about my past transactions, my predicted transactions. It's about the whole transactional experience. And retailers not only got the risk of holding that data, but then it's about, are they actually capable of using that data? I just wondered what your thoughts were on that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, of course, I mean, they do capture a lot of data in the transaction, right? And for example, solutions like ours, you gather more data than just your transactions. I mean, or we do. I mean, yeah. It's more.
But how's it being used other than just what?
Exactly. It's more. I mean, it's more product development further than that, because basically, once you can offer products related to data to these sellers, to these merchants, you get to know data of their customers, where they buy, what is their real competence. So all these type of data-driven, let's say, products you can offer at the same time as the first tool that it's helping financing and helping the growth sales in this sense for them. So of course, I think there is a lot of value here for them. As you said, for improving rewards for customers and trying to somehow link these customers to their activity for a longer time, right?
I think there should always be a choice for the customer if they want to rather have these benefits or if they want to give away their data. So now I think also a reason why cash is still popular in a lot of European countries is because they feel like they can go shopping and nobody exactly knows what actually have been bought. And there's also a lot of fear of customers that they totally become transparent if everything is being done with electronic payments. So that's why they use cash. So if they would be recognized in any way what they're doing, that also could actually cause some fear. So if they decide, well, I don't want to be tracked, I don't want to be recognized, and that's fair, I'm actually able to pay, well, I want to, because of that, I'm actually going to pay more, that's fine, yeah. And then for the others who say, well, I'm totally open, I want them to know what I like so they can give me offers, they can give me benefits, and that's where I'm going to share all this information with. So this choice should be up to the customer.
But is it a risk for the merchant starting to hold and manage and use the data?
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of data that they have that they're sitting on that they don't understand themselves. Because the question was twofold: whether they have the data, do they understand what to do with it as well? And I would say that a lot of retailers are collecting massive amounts of data, but not a lot of retailers are using it. Because they don't yet know how to use it. It's not structured in the way that it should be, and they don't have the expertise that they need in-house a lot of the times. You have some, like Walmart, etc., with very, very large data scientist teams who are working on this and making sense of all the data that they're collecting. But they've invested a huge amount of money to be able to do that, and most retailers are not capable of that. So they have to work with external parties to do it. Today, Unfortunately, they're not making full use of it. We speak to a lot of retailers about what more data we can give them. And a lot of the times we hear back that, yeah, but we already have a lot of data and we don't know the real value of it. So at the moment, even if you're giving us data, we don't know what to do with it. So
Data everywhere, but not a drop to use.
yeah. And they haven't monetized it in the way that they should probably.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, this is changing, actually. The retailers are recognizing the value a data holds. Because a lot of our retailers actually asked us, since you have an algorithm to route customers, can you make sure the customers that are walking in has a vested interest in a product that I am selling? Can you curate the foot traffic such that, you know, if you don't like pizza, don't come to a pizzeria to collect cash. I mean, there is no upselling opportunity. But if you like something that the product is selling, then only send those traffics. So we heard this from our customers, from our retailers, and that's what we are trying to build within our algorithm itself so that we can curate the foot traffic such that, and again, based on the data that the retailers hold today.
Okay. You were going to comment earlier?
If you want me to speak about how we collect data, we have to sign an NDA. So. No, I mean...
French one, that's fine.
Yes, of course. In French, of course. No, they are totally right. It's a real issue for us in France and in Europe to collect data. So it's, of course, it's very interesting for... but it's an issue here. So
I have an 18-year-old daughter for my sins, and one of the things I see with her is that the Omni-Channel shopping experience is incredibly important. And I'd just like to talk about that when we start talking about augmented POS as well, because to me, it becomes very interesting how she literally expects these days to jump from online, offline, to returning goods, to picking up goods, to interacting, as you said, at the stores, checking on what's available, and everything else. To them, it seems to be, as a business, you need to be totally integrated, because if you're not my business. And I'll just get some comments from you on this whole integration of the channels that's come out, really mashed together over the last 5-10 years. And how you see that tying into the augmented experience you can then give that customer at the checkout based on their online history and everything else as well.
For sure for them or for any retailer, this omni-channel experience is very important, and I think, it's not a new subject. Let's say they're all working on this part, and you as a payment facility, let's say you must adapt to that omni-channel presence they are trying to build, right? I think it has to do also or when I bring it to my field, let's say to this option for paying with consumer lending, it has to do a lot also on whether you fully bring the payment at the exact moment where you get the object or the service, or you can have these buy now, pay later options, and you can really disaggregate the moment from paying of the moment from the transaction, right? I think it has to do with this omni-channel, because basically when you disaggregate, it's easier to build up this payment experience when it's disaggregated from the channel. But of course, when you are fully integrated, the operation and the payment, you need to work for this omni-channel experience for sure.
I think you have. There's two ways. So I think that the place where the buyer's decision is to be made is also important. So this could be online, where you say, so you look online, you do some research, and you know everything you want, and then you only decide, where can I pick it up? Because I want to actually go in the store and get it directly. So that's where everything happens online, and this has to be a smooth experience, of course. And the other way, when the augmented reality comes more in place in the physical stores, when the decision is being made within the store. And they could also mean that maybe the person doesn't even pick it up in a store, but it gets it delivered later on. So I think these two things can be here differentiated.
I think it's also about the infrastructure that the retailers have for them to be able to enable such things. a lot of the times the middleware is overlooked, right? Because you need to integrate the traditional old POS systems that they have with these new experiences and functionalities that they want to build. Now, some retailers are revamping the POS, all of it. So they're just bringing on Microsoft Dynamics, or there's Aptos One, or many of them who are coming out with completely new POS software built to do this. But a majority of the retailers are in the category where they have old traditional POS already. They invested a huge amount of money when they were putting it in. And what they need to do is build a layer of connectivity on top of it. And that is a huge amount of investment. That's where they need to focus a lot more in order to enable the omni-channel journeys.
I share the point of view of Mustafa.
Yeah, I would like to just add, like, I think phygital is the future. I mean, physical plus digital combined. That's where the world is moving as of today. I mean, how many times does it happen to you? It happens to me many times. You bought something on Amazon, and you wished that somebody comes and delivers next hour. Why wait even 24 hours to get a hands on that new stuff? Of course, there are limitations. Amazon is working on same-day delivery and stuff like that. But somehow you lack that feeling, oh, can I just get it in my hands right away?
I know you're a Star Trek fan. Teleporting, we're still a couple of years away.
I wish, right. For our business, for example, we actually launched, you could order cash at home. Like you order your food, like pizza and food delivery. So you simply say, I need hot pizza and give me €100. And your pizza delivery boy becomes your virtual ATM. He brings the €100 along with the hot pizza. I mean, that's the kind of new...
Is there any way to teach kids, though, about money management? The pizza man comes, hands over the pizza, hands you over €100 and walks away. The kid's going to assume every time I order a pizza, he pays me. I mean, this is not surely a good way to start education on children.
I'm not teaching that to my child so that he's not growing into that. But yeah, you are right. But the reason I would order that €100 is to hand it over to my child so that he can live the whole week on that €100. So that's the use case of
I thought you took the €100 off him so he could then pay the pizza man the €20.
You know, that could be. That could be.
Part of this is, I think, is all tying back to is customer engagement. And a key part of what many of your solutions have talked about here is engaging with the customer in a more efficient manner. And to me, that then leads on to talking about loyalty and actually driving loyalty through to the customer through those experiences. And I'd just maybe like to talk about Augmented POS in terms of that whole loyalty experience and the ability of using the data we talked about that they're all capturing to actually drive a real customer experience that drives loyalty now, and how we see that moving forward over the next couple of years. And I just wondered if you had any thoughts around that in terms of the loyalty side.
I think, yeah, we see this also as a common theme when retailers are discussing POS. It's very important to build a good CRM behind it. It's very important that they want to drive loyalty, but depending on the retailer, you have to think about what drives loyalty, right? Is it convenience that drives loyalty for you as a retailer? Is it a distinguished customer experience? Is it something where, you know, the customer, like you were saying, gets what they want when they want? Is that what you're trying to provide, right? So what is your value proposition? That needs to be very clear, and then you drive loyalty on the basis of that. Because, you know, we work with, for instance, Decathlon, one of the largest sporting goods retailers in the world. And they went the opposite direction of what a lot of sports retailers are doing, right? They have very, very big retail stores. They have all kinds of experiences in the stores, etc. They drive loyalty through getting sports to the mass market and getting you to come to their stores to play, right? Play the sports that you want to learn and then go through. So customers expect that from them now. And the more they provide of that, the further they will drive their loyalty, because they've had a good brand value. They've first defined that, and then they're driving loyalty on the back of that. And of course, the technology that we provide will further help, that's where we come in with convenience or better personalization or customer journey. But the brand has to first define what is their proposition to the customer.
Okay.
It's just trying on my side from linking this retailer to the payment scheme, let's say, or to the payment option they have. I think it's also important to say that right now, like big retailers do have the option to have an agreement with a financing institution so that they have reward for the clients when using the card, the special card they have, etc. I think there's a lot of space for let's say payment players or players like us to build these things, but be more universal in the approach. I mean, on trying to help smaller retailers or smaller SMEs also to build those type of solutions, since you have the payment and amplified knowledge because you know the payments of other places. So I think there is a huge opportunity there to help them build those type of rewards and help like smaller retailers to somehow compete a bit better with the big retailers that do have the chance right now to have particular conditions with banks, for example, or with financial institutions.
Okay.
Yeah, I think loyalty has become a commodity now. I mean, every retailer goes for it, and it's no longer kind of a can I have, can I not have situation. It's kind of the way to incentivize your loyal customers, and it's really a commodity these days.
I always like to finish with this one, which is, I always say, many conferences, 10 years ahead and all this type of rubbish. I think that's crystal ball stuff. Much what I say is 2 years, short span thing. It's only just outside your current business plan. What do you think is going to be the biggest impact to the retail POS environment? Is it, because retailers generally work on a 5-10 year cycle on POS systems. Are we going to see any change over the next couple of years? Are we going to see, bank payments come in? What are we going to see at the retail that's really going to change things over the next couple of years? And I'll start from this man at Paytweak, maybe. Just, what do you see is going to be the big change in the next couple of years?
I guess there will be a frictionless way to buy and to leave the store. So the goal, I guess, for our retailers in the next years is to make it easier for the customers to buy and to leave the store ASAP. So what is the future of the POS? I guess future of the POS is to be POS-less. So
2 years, you said, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a short horizon.
Yeah, it's down to the truth. It's down to what's real, not what's in a dream.
And in that case, I would place my bet on bank account to POS payment, because every retailer has the biggest problem against MasterCard and Visa charges that they pay. The larger the retailer, the larger the commissions they pay to card schemes, PSPs, acquirers, and so on and so forth. So combining all that, that's a significant amount of cost element. And if there is anything else which is ubiquitous, accessing all bank accounts, and consumers can easily pay at the point of sale, and that helps them reduce even 30% from their current scheme payment fees, retailers will adopt that fairly quickly. And I think that will drive transformation in the POS space.
I completely agree, but I would say that even maybe it's 1 year or 2 years, no? And before that, I think it's and trying to be very practical. I think like many big retailers or many big corporates in general, the first move or the first thought they have is reduce cost, right? So basically, what I think it will happen for sure the next 2 years is that basically people will disappear from the checkout. And I think this is the main difference. It's already started for sure. But I think this is going to be massive. And in this checkout, you will find the way. You can have it like direct account, as you say, or other payment types. But basically, the main difference will be that you won't find any person at the checkout.
Okay.
So that's my 5-year horizon, not 2. But sure, agree.
When you look at the Nordics, their default payment method has switched from cash to electronic payments. So when you want to pay, the merchant kind of expects you to pay with card. So I'm not sure if it's going to happen in the next 2 years, but I'm going to hope it will change, that cashless payments becomes more of a default, and the cash payment is more like an extra. So, because there's so many places still where you go in and then you ask, can I pay with card? Because I don't have any cash. And then you're not sure if that's actually possible. So that's what I hope is going to happen next 2 years.
Yeah, I think all of those are interesting predictions. I don't particularly disagree with any of them. I believe several of them are actually even happening already. Ideal, for example, in the Netherlands is exactly that, bank account to retailer
no, it's
account.
not bank account to POS.
Not bank account to POS though, but it will start to go there. People will do electronic and pay peer-to-peer banking. But I think more importantly, as retailers will evolve in their thinking when it comes to the POS, hardware will reduce in the stores. Because it's just 2 years. I don't know if they will fundamentally, everyone will start to change their experience. But they will all have started to go to different types of experiences in the store, rather than today where it's either 100% traditional POS or in some places 70% traditional POS and 30% with the self-checkout kiosk. You will start to see more of variety there with staff-assisted POS checkout via MPOS solutions or with mobile scan and go like what we're working on. Or some retailers going the Amazon Go style and opening stores completely powered by AI so that you don't have any POS there. You will not, in just the next 2 years, see any one very clear change in any one of those. It will not be enough of a penetration, but you will start to see that big chunk, which is the traditional POS, start to shrink and new smaller bits showing up.
And thank you very much for a really interesting, really insightful panel. Thank you very much.